Force. Space Force.
That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today.
Aliens? What's the matter?
Let me talk to your mother.
Who is your daddy?
Oh, fuck, say it!
Good morning.
It's all happening. Hashtag bald guy sucks.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Crazy, crazy stuff, right?
There's no words on it. There's no words there. All right, go.
Welcome to Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk, and talk is cheap. I'm your host, Dan Hohlfeld. It is Wednesday, August 15th, 2018, and we are live on the K2D4 network. As always, I want to make sure everybody knows that we do have Super Chats open today. If you have a question and you don't want to call in, I'm going to open up the phone lines later. But if whatever you don't want to be on the phone, you can do Super Chats. We'll read it on the air here. And we always appreciate your donation. So last week I was talking with Michelle, and we were talking about all these energies coming in, like very intense. And I've actually never felt this as I felt it before, like right now, like end of July and now into August here. And Sylvia messaged me and said, hey, I want to come on and talk about this because this is really intense. People can't really handle what's going on. They want to know what's going on. So she joins me right now. Sylvia, thanks for joining me today.
Hello.
How are you over there?
Toughing it out in the trenches like everybody else.
On the front lines.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about, like, let's go into July here, and then we're going to go into August, and I want to talk about some future stuff of what we're going through here. Like, end of July, I had a lack of motivation. I had negative thoughts, and then even others came and told me, hey, I'm stepping away from what I'm supposed to be doing because it just feels like I'm not in the zone here. And that's exactly what I felt like these last few weeks too. So go ahead and take it away. Let's start with July, that we went through all these gates, if you will, and the lining of the planets and all that good stuff. So go ahead and start where you'd like to start and take it away.
Yeah, right now we're in a massive, giant eclipse portal. I mean, it always seems like we're in some kind of portal or another, but right now it's accelerating. And it's pretty much, it began in July where we had an eclipse on the 12th. Then we had another eclipse on the 27th of July. Then we had another one just this past weekend, August 11th. Not to mention the Lion's Gate on August 8th. And the Lion's Gate already in and of itself is already a massive portal that we get every year, where it's pretty much where the Earth, the Sun, and the planet Sirius line up at specific points in the sky, and it's an accelerated ascension point. It's where we receive on the physical Earth all the ascension energies to assist us, to boost us up. The Sun's in Leo, so they call it the Lion's Gate.
This time it feels way more intense because we go through this every year, but this year it's just like, I've never felt this way. I don't know if it's because I changed my diet, I went more vegan, and that energies are more amplified. So I don't know if that's probably does have something to do with it, but this is crazy. Like you said, I think it depends on where people are in we were talking before the show, of course, but where people are in their spiritual development of what they're going to see and feel right now.
Right. Yeah. And how interesting that you said that, because a lot of people that I know have been called to become vegan also. I have always been vegetarian since I was a kid. For some reason, just meat, not like for altruistic reasons, I'll be honest, it was because it grossed me out. So I just didn't like meat, but cheese and dairy have always been like a huge hurdle for me to overcome. And for some reason, I was guided to give up all dairy and even bread and sugar as of late. The only one I can't kick is coffee. That's my last one. I'm like, come on, God, I need something. So I haven't given up coffee yet. But right now, what's interesting is the Lion's Gate, in addition to all of those eclipses, is like a super eclipse. So a super portal, all of them. Normally we have Lion's Gate by itself. Last year we had an eclipse with it, and that seemed to like kick everybody's butt. This year, we have the Lion's Gate and 3 eclipses, okay? So it's not just the regular, Lion's Gate. This is a super Lion's Gate. And so it's a forced ascension. It's when mom's coming into your room and saying, get up and go to school. And you're like, oh, okay, 10 more minutes. And you ignore her. I'm going to ignore her. She always forgets. She'll come back and she'll wake me up. No, now mom is like, now, get up now. So the energy is not allowing you to dilly-dally any longer. You have to get up.
And this is causing us to really reflect and think about what we're doing and what we should be doing.
Well, we're purging. We're releasing. July was all about purging, releasing who you thought you were, beliefs, who you thought people were, relationships. We're in a giant portal of reflection. We have 6 planets retrograde right now. Mars and Mercury are the most potent only because Mercury rules thought and communication. So I don't know if you've noticed a lot of electronic snafus, problems with internet, problems with communication, sending the wrong person the wrong text, things like that, saying the wrong thing, putting your foot in your mouth. And Mars rules your drive, your ambition, your get up and go, your gut, your energy. And ever since Mars went retrograde, myself, I haven't wanted to get out of bed. I haven't wanted to deal with anyone. And I mean, I started noticing in the sleep state, because normally, okay, you wake up and you're okay, and then the negative energy would hit later in the day. But then I started noticing, oh, they're attacking me when I'm still asleep. That's interesting, because that hadn't happened. And I'm noticing the negative thoughts in my sleep state. Before I even wake up, I start dreaming of bad stuff. And like that kind of set the tone, like, oh, it's the same thing. It's the same day. Nothing's changed. I'm kidding myself. I'm making this stuff up. It's never going to change. Everything's going to be crappy forever. And then I started noticing people that I worked with were thinking like that, family members, strangers, everybody was like feeling the same way. And I started seeing like a pattern, like, okay, so it's not just me, it's everybody. So during these times, it's very important that your intentions and what you think and what you say are very pure, and what you want. Like, how they say, be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. Well, right now, that's exactly what's going on. Be careful what you wish for, because it's like major manifestation mode, and we're manifesting stuff we don't want. So you have to be very careful what you allow in your mind, like what you allow in your body, going vegan. I mean, I'm not saying everybody go vegan, but treat yourself with care, mentally, physically, emotionally. If you know that person calling you is gonna evoke a negative response from you, then be kind to yourself and avoid the conversation. Don't entertain it. Don't eat the junk food, because you're gonna feel like crap later. Don't drink that beer, because you're gonna feel like crap later. In any way, we abuse ourselves in so many ways, even with what we tell ourselves in our mind. Like, oh, I screwed up, I'm stupid. No, be very careful, because we are being projected with this energy. They're using it to their advantage. And by they, I mean the dark energy. So we live in a dualistic reality. It's dark and it's light. So who are you gonna, what team are you gonna root for? What team are you gonna work for? Choose to amplify light. But then that begins with inside you first, then out in the world, then you can help someone. And that's the best way to lift yourself up, is to help somebody else, because then instantly you feel good. And then it's like you remember yourself. You're like, oh, that's right. It's like you kind of get this amnesia, and you fall for whatever the dark is throwing at you. You start believing the story of the old 3D programming. And like in the movie The Matrix, red pill or blue pill. The blue pill keeps you asleep and you go back to your regular zombie 3D life, or the red pill, you wake up and you learn the truth. What's going on here? So when you learn the truth, it's like you can't not know anymore. Once you know, you know. So then
I think a lot of people are being force fed that pill too. I have no choice but to take it.
Well, yeah, but heavy is the crown of truth, because then you have a responsibility. Then you're like, if I do the bad thing, now I know I'm doing the bad thing. Before, I could get away with it because I was asleep, but now I'm awake. So now you have a responsibility, to uplift yourself, number one, and then pass it on. Spread the light. Give it to somebody else so they could give it to somebody else, so they could give it to somebody else. And so what I started noticing is
let's back up here a minute. The one thing I noticed about the vegan diet when I've been on it, like I've been on it about a year now. I've been alcohol free about a year. And ever since, like, I never was like, oh, if people want to eat meat, fine. I'm not going to be one of those vegan guys that go crazy or whatever. But now it's like, I feel like anytime I see an animal go through suffering and get killed, I feel that's more amplified within me now. And it's just like, well, now I'm really starting to be more tuned in, I think, to what's going on.
You're waking up more. It's just another level of waking up. And funny that you say that, because my kids would just copy what I did. They would eat vegetarian, but then when they'd go out on the weekend and we go to a restaurant, they'd be like, oh, I really want a burger. So, they would indulge and eat meat. Now they have found that they can't. Even if they want to, they get sick. They get physically ill if they try to eat bacon, meat, any animal product. They physically become ill. And before, they couldn't do that. Before it didn't have that effect, they could indulge. So it's kind of like the splitting of the paths. Like before, you could jump from one to the other because they were close, and now it's like the gap is so wide that you can't jump anymore. So now it's like, which one are you on? That's the road you're on. Like, choose your side. And it sounds simplistic to say that, but that's exactly what it is. It's very simple. I mean, you choose your road. It's like, okay, Dan, who are you? The universe is asking you, who are you? And you're like, well, I'm this vegan guy, and I spread light. Okay, well, let me put you through some crap and show me that you're that. Because this is like G.I. Jane going through the boot camp, and let's see, show me, swim this rough patch.
We get tested every day. I was listening to David Wilcock on one of his speeches, and then he was talking about those monks. It's like something like if they can stay positive for like 27 years, they can go into a rainbow body. It's like, I could do that if I don't have a job and I can check away and put myself away and don't interact with anybody, but he might go crazy that way too.
You know what? I think we say that, but since I've been in this awakening, I feel like I'm in a cocoon, because everything that I've known before has been taken away from me. The job, the friends, the community, the everything just stripped away. So I feel like I'm in this cosmic quarantine, like a womb. And I keep seeing visuals of a fetus. So I guess that's kind of like I'm in the cocoon. So I've noticed, being cut off from the outside world, that it's me. I'm beating myself up. I'm the one fighting with myself. So now it's like that too, now having to face all the ugly inside of me. And that's what we're doing. We're facing all the ugly shadow aspects of ourselves. And that's why it hurts so much, because you feel like you're dying. There are many deaths of the pieces of Dan that are no longer the meat eater, the beer drinker, the whatever. Whatever
totally
you
different
used
person.
to believe before.
Different person on a different timeline.
Yeah, exactly. We're tapping into all of them. Have you had any timeline dreams? Any past life dreams?
Past life, no. But when I sit and think about, just mentally now, my memory's gotten so much better since I quit drinking. But when I sit and think about back when I was in high school and stuff, I was like, God, that was a different person. I mean, it was a few years ago now, but it just seems like a world away. It's like crazy.
It does. Well, by past life, I mean, like, you have a dream and it's like you're watching a movie and it's you. You have a knowing. Like in a dream, it's your house. It doesn't look like your house, but it's your house, right? So in the dreams, I know it's me, but it'll be like an African-American girl. It'll be a tall white guy, but I know it's me. And I've been having a lot of those dreams right now. And it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
But we're collapsing timelines. it's like the themes of those lives are matching what like is transpiring in my life. And that is fascinating. And I've talked to other friends who are experiencing the same thing. They're having past life dreams or visions of like why they have certain fears. I was shown a vision of why I was like scared to drive on the highway at night, because as a kid, my dad would drunk drive and I could see out the driver's window and I thought I was gonna die because my mom was freaking out. So in my mind, that became, oh, if you drive at night, you're gonna die because, you know, dad almost
That was a
killed
past
us.
life or this life?
I'm sorry, what?
That was a past life of yours or this life?
No, that was this life, but I'm saying,
Okay.
look at how, like you said, when you were in high school, it feels like another lifetime ago.
It does.
But I mean, because you're not the same person. You're not even the same person you were last month.
Right.
Like everything is changing so fast. But the weird thing is that it feels like everything is changing so fast. So there's like a fear element to it. And you're like on a roller coaster and you can't stop it. But it also feels like, come on, let's get to the good stuff. Like it's not changing fast enough. That's the dichotomy that I felt. I don't know if you felt the same, where it's like everything's really uncontrollable and really fast, but at the same time, I'm not seeing the good stuff that I'm waiting for yet. And like impatient,
Right.
but really fast at the same time.
Yeah, we're ready to open those presents.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, come on, I've been a good boy, I've been a good girl, bring it. Like, bring that new earth, bring that 5D.
Okay, so what are we going through right now, Sylvia?
So right now is the purging. We're ending all the pieces of who we used to be, the timelines. I mean, right now is the only moment that exists. The past is an illusion, the future is an illusion. You know, if you stay in the past, it'll depress you. If you stay in the future, it'll freak you out, because they're both overwhelming, because you have no power in either one. You can't go back to the past, so you get depressed. You can't go into the future and like try to OCD control it, so you get scared because
what
you
do
don't
they
know
say?
what's coming.
If you go into the past, you're worrying, and if you go into the future, you get anxiety or whatever, I believe it was. And you just got to keep yourself present.
The only power you have is in the right now, in this moment, right this second, because you're at a choice point. So that brings me up to what I was, the vision that I got. I was meditating, and I've been meditating and getting this message that every day is a new day. You know how in the religious people would say, oh, you if you have nothing to be grateful for, be grateful that you woke up today. And I would say, shut up. Like that's lately, that does not feel like that. I'd be like, oh crap, I'm still here. It's not 5D yet. So
yeah, we're waiting for that 5D, and we kind of got let down to that original plan, but now it sounds like something might amplify here yet in the fall. But
yeah, but see, don't that's the mind, what they're like, don't fall for that trap of always being in this giant cosmic waiting room. Like that's the same thing as not being in this now moment, because you're like, oh, when's that bus gonna get here, just looking at your watch, and you're not, oh, there's a rainbow, there's a butterfly, you know, there's a red cardinal. Like you're not noticing or appreciating what's right here right now. And like all the, like the universe is speaking to us, so it's talking to us. So right now it's kind of like you know, double dutch jump rope. You have two ropes that you're turning at the same time, and that's what we're doing. So with one hand we're purging, you're getting all the crap off, and then with the other hand you still have to lift yourself up and do this spiritual work that you've been called to, because we're on the front lines. Anybody watching this show is awake and on the front lines. You're a warrior of light, and you are here to spread light. Otherwise you would not be watching this. You could care less about what we're talking about, because it wouldn't pertain to you. It would just go over your head. Like I don't care about NASCAR. I don't care about you know, sci-fi movies, because that's not my thing. So I'm not on that vibration.
You don't care about sci-fi movies?
You know, only the ones God forces me to watch. Those are the only ones I will watch. Like one time I was told to watch Star Wars. There's a bunch of Star Wars. I'm like, which one? And so I watched all of them. and like my eyes were bleeding, and I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. But the messages were where Anakin is an adult. I think it's Revenge of the Sith. Are you a fan?
I am not.
I think
no.
it's 6 and 7. I'm not sure. 5 or 6. I don't know. But it's when Anakin, the two where he's an adult with Natalie Portman. And I was wondering, why do you want me to watch these movies? So then I'm watching the movies. Those movies, oh my goodness, they have so many messages. That is where Anakin turns into Darth Vader, and he turns into dark. So he was a Jedi, and he's for the light. And that's when he turns to the dark side, and he becomes Darth Vader. And Yoda tells him, beware of your thoughts, they betray you. Look at what's happening right now. Beware of your thoughts, they betray you. Then he says, fear is the path to the dark side.
Yeah, I've been watching a bunch of, I watched that new Lost in Space, that was pretty good. And I also watched I'm watching from start to finish. I think I'm in the third season now. There's like 10 seasons of Stargate SG-1. Because that's like, they cover so much stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Like you got the Stargate, and then they go into the Greys that are actually like the ancients, and it's like, wow, this stuff is like right on, and they've been telling us for how long about this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And I remember with my husband at the time, all the stuff he was into, his video games and everything. I mean, they would talk about things in the spiritual community that we refer to, like chakras, things. Even in my son's TV shows like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that, they talk about chakras. They talk about all the stuff. Do you see how it's hiding in plain sight? Like, oh, they're tricking you, they're playing with you, like it's here, but then it's really not here. But we want to put it in a cartoon so that you think it's BS, and you dismiss it. Oh, that's for kids. That's fiction. It's just made up. Well, no, it's hiding in plain sight. There's no better place to hide than in plain sight.
I would also say that they're doing this to get people ready for when they bring all this stuff in, like the secret space program and stuff. I was listening to a lecture by David Wilcock the other night. He was at Contact in the Desert, and he was talking about how the SSP wants to do full disclosure and open up their bases on the moon, their bases on Mars. It's like, oh, we could get that like that, and that's going to be freaking insane.
Well, have you heard also that they're planning like a fake invasion?
Yeah, that's Project Bluebeam.
Yeah,
that's been in the works for a while. So that's what has me worried.
I think that would happen first before the other one, or together to kind of downplay the other one and be like, look over here.
I think it all depends on who's going to be running the show, because the Dark Cabal running the show, they're going to push that, and the good guys are not going to want to do that. But it has me worried because Trump's been talking about the
Space Force
for a little while now, and he wants to gear up that army to, he's kind of pushing the threat scenario, and it's like, come on. But I guess you kind of got to play that hand for people so you're at least ready for some attack. But I don't know, that's crazy stuff.
But the funny thing is, the ridiculous
crazy stuff, right?
We've been attacked. We're getting attacked right now, and nobody sees it. Like, you kind of do if you look for it. If you know what to look for, you can see the programming. You can see the mind control. You can see, like right now it's election time where I live. And on my drive, there's just like all these signs for these politicians that are running for office. And I started noticing, because I'm more awake, so you're more clear, so you notice more, that like they have their names so that they're in your subconscious, so that when you go to vote, you're like, oh, Dan Hohlfeld. I don't know where I know that name, but I must know him because it's in my mind. So let me vote for him. And you're like, no, dummy, you saw the sign outside. And that's why, you're just robot, you're responding to the programming.
Right.
And, essentially that's all school is programming, how to fall in line, how to be quiet, how to regurgitate information, it's funny how like this awakening has had the way I look at things so differently. Before, I used to be such a hard ass with my kids, like, oh, you better get straight A's and you better do this and you better do that. And now I'm like, I know it's mind control, whatever. Like, just don't fail. But you know what I mean?
That's how my mom was too. She really pushed that. And I was like, oh man, this stuff is just like, it just doesn't feel right. And I purposely last year, I just took easy classes just to get these quote unquote good grades, whatever that means. It's just a freaking weird system.
Yeah, you're just regurgitating information. They give it to you, you throw it back up to them. They give it to you, you throw it back up to them. And what they're really doing is taking your money. That's all they're doing. Because in the beginning, it's to train you to be a soldier, right? Get in line, raise your hand like a monkey, and you know freedom, just,
Well, look at all these college kids now. I mean, they're told in high school there at the end that they have to go to college to make it and be good and succeed in life and get that big paycheck so they can live in a big mansion. And then at the end of the day, they're working a minimum wage job because they couldn't find anything. And some of these jobs, I was even talking to my friend the other week that they get these bachelor degrees or whatever just to make $15 an hour. It's like you can get that right now.
Absolutely.
Off the street.
Oh, and then they push military really heavy. They push the ROTC. They push all of that. Like right now, my son is just entered 7th grade, and they're asking me if they can release his grades to the military. I'm like, for what? No. Like, that's ridiculous. He's a baby. So that's, you see where it's going though. Like can already see, but other parents think, when you're asleep, you don't notice, because I didn't notice for a very long time. And now, just now, the past couple of years, now it's like, oh, and now I see that, and now I see that. It's like you finally see in color, and before you saw in black and white, like the Wizard of Oz. And now you're like, whoa, everything's so bright, So essentially, every morning you're bombarded with this fear, and the matrix is alive, and it needs you to agree to the old program, to the 3D program. So it's like on a website, when you go into somebody's website and that thing pops up and they want you to agree to the terms and conditions, like, oh, you need to agree to this. You have to give us your permission. Otherwise, you can't go into our website. And you're like, yeah, nobody even reads that crap. They're like, yeah, whatever, get out of here. Let me do what I got to do. Let me pay my bill or whatever. And so you agree to it automatically.
Thing. Like, every time they pop up, even at like, oh, subscribe to a newsletter, it's like, let me look at your site first before it's like, geez, I just got here.
And you can't get around it. It's or cookies or something that it says. It pops up with some crap.
Oh, yeah.
But it wants you to click it, or it wants you to agree. It wants your permission. So that's the same thing with the Matrix. It's a computer program that's interactive and it's alive. And so it's like, okay, Sylvia, here's your crappy life from yesterday in the past few years. Do you agree? I need your permission. Click here. And so in your mind, you're thinking, oh, everything's the same. Nothing's changed. Nothing's ever going to change. I'm kidding myself. But that's your choice point right there. Right. In that moment, when it pops up, like, do you agree that everything's the same and nothing has changed? So in that second, you have a choice. Red pill, blue pill. Do you agree? If you agree, then it's going to be the same thing that it's always been, the same thing you've ever known. But if you don't agree, that's where your power is. If you don't agree, and just do it for experiment's sake. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It's already been really crappy. So yeah, I'm not going to agree. No, I don't agree. Yep. So you have to get into your righteous rage, your righteous indignation, your righteous anger, and stubborn for yourself, champion for yourself, and say, no, I don't agree. Today's a new day. I am a brand new person today. I have a new chance. So now I understand what they were talking about. Be grateful that you woke up today, because you get another chance at the video game. Like my son's video games. He plays Call of Duty and all that other junk, Fortnite, and he dies, and then he comes right back up. It's a new day. It's a new life. It's a new chance to play the video game. And sometimes you play the bad guy. I've seen in my life where I've played the bad guy, and sometimes you play the good guy. Now it's time to play the good guy. So, but like, it's who are you? The universe is asking you, who are you? And you have to prove it in every moment. It's a constant commitment. So at the beginning of every day, you decide, no, it's not like yesterday. I am different today, because you are completely different from who you were yesterday, who you were last week, last month, last year. And if you look back and you really think, you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, I used to eat meat. I used to drink beer. I used to smoke, whatever it is that you did. And I mean, we're not judging anybody. Who cares? We all did it. But but now who are you? And recommitting to the new who you are. And it's like baby steps. It's like when you first get to a job and you feel dumb because you don't know how to do it fast and you want to do it fast. So it's like this ascension is the same way. Oh, I suck at this. I'm doing it wrong. You know, I said the wrong thing. I wasn't loving light. You know, stop beating yourself up. Just start again, collect yourself, start again, and keep going. But keep standing up. Don't lay down. Don't let them win.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute. I want to get the phone lines open. We're at the bottom of the hour here. So if you guys want to call in and chime in on our conversation, that number here is 1-605-562-0444. That's 1-605-562-0444. That is the US number. If you click go down in the description there, I got the numbers. If you're overseas or whatever, get the one that's closest to you. These are free call-in numbers, so use them to your advantage. You also got to put a caller ID in. That's 146-509#. 146-509#. And we'll get you on the air here and get you queued in. So you can also, if you don't want to call in, go ahead and do a super chat. Those are open today, folks. They're kind of interesting in themselves. So go ahead, Sylvia, talk about what can we do to combat this and keep we got all this energy coming in. How can we keep ourselves up and powering through this time and making sure we don't slump into this negativity?
Yeah, first of all, we're in a giant portal, not just the Lion's Gate, not just the eclipses, but as if that weren't enough, the universe also gave us 6 retrogrades. So we have all these planets. The most important, well, not the most important, but the most the ones that are affecting us the worst right now are Mercury and Mars. So those two are about to go direct, coming up pretty soon near the Pisces full moon on the 26th. In around that time frame, they're going to go direct. So you will feel relief immediately in that vicinity of time near the Pisces full moon. You will feel better. So from this moment on, however, now that you know that, and a lot of people think, oh, you know, astrology isn't real. Well, when Mars went retrograde, like, I don't care what you think, like, it doesn't change the fact that it does affect your energy, and we are energy. That's what we are. So stack the chips in your favor. Do the things that you know are gonna go to your toolbox, so to speak. So that's salt baths. Take salt baths. You know, I have vases filled with sea salt water all over me. A friend before I started the show said, throw some sea salt on yourself and that'll help with your energy. I did it. I'm like, okay, like, I'm stacking all the chips in my favor. And
question about the salt baths before you go too far.
Sure.
Like, so when you get done with it, I always feel like I'm like kind of like out of it. Like, I just don't really want to do anything, that I'm just whatever. Is that all part of it, or is that just because the water is too damn hot?
No, you're releasing. So when you release, so basically what we're going through is a lot of like that double dutch. You release and then you integrate. So you're throwing out and you're bringing in. You're throwing out, you're bringing in. When you get really tired, that's because you're receiving it. You got a big download and you have to integrate it because your body is like, whoa, this is a lot of light. Like, I don't know what to do with this, because I'm used to the dark, but I'm not used to the light. So it has to integrate it. So listen to your body. Drink a ton of water. Lemon water if you can, because the lemon makes it alkaline. You don't have to buy any fancy water. I mean, not tap, you know, try to get it filtered to get that fluoride and all that crap out of there. But put a slice of lemon in there, and that'll help process your emotions. Drink tons of water, get in the bath. And I mean, it builds up, it accumulates. You think that it's not doing anything, but it really does have an effect on your well-being, because I notice when I don't do it, oh my God, it's that much worse. So if you know the things that will help you, another really good tool is when you're really freaking out and have a lot of anxiety, is Bach flower rescue relief. They're little drops, and I get them on Amazon. They're like $10 or $12. So they last forever because you just take a little drop and put it on your tongue, and you can give them to your pets, you can give them to your kids. And I have noticed such a huge difference when I take those drops if I'm having an anxiety attack. And Uranus, it rules anxiety. So you may feel a lot of insomnia right now, a lot of anxiety. And a quick way to release some of that anxiety is the salt bath, the Bach flower rescue remedy, and to put your bare feet on the earth. If you can put your bare feet on grass, that is amazing. That will help ground your energy and bring you back to your center, even if you just do it for 5 minutes. All you need is 5 minutes. And then meditate if you can. If you can meditate, if you can't bring yourself to meditate because you're so anxious, then work out. Exercising is a great way to move your energy. You push it out, because then you force it out of your body. Stretching, yoga, any of that stuff. Moving your muscles, that'll help push it out. And then your diet, whatever you're putting into your body. I mean, I have had moments where I've had to eat sugar because I'm like, if I don't have an Oreo right now, I'm gonna go shoot up a building. So I mean, hey, like, whatever helps you. But I mean, try to eat conscious, because then you feel like crap after you eat those Oreos. But I mean, Oreos are vegan, so I'm like, oh, okay, at least I'm not going all the way to the left.
Well, it's just like the alcohol. People have fun, like, oh, come out and have a drink. Well, you feel good for 2 hours and you feel like crap for like another day. So it's like, what's the trade-off?
Yeah, and you can get a lot of entity attachments with alcohol. It makes holes in your aura, and as it is already, to get an entity attachment, all you need is to be in a bad mood, because you're at that low vibration, and then they're like, oh, he's open, that door's open, let me go over there with him. So no, like, get yourself out of there. It's very easy right now to wallow and to fall into that endless pit of dark, because you can go down real fast.
Yeah, and one thing I also noticed is when you're drinking alcohol, like that next day, I can have the best time at night, but the next day I still wake up feeling guilty. Like, it's like I did something bad and I didn't do anything bad. We had a good time and everything was fine.
Yeah, because I think that you feel like you let yourself down. Like, oh, I didn't do it. Like, I thought I could. Or kind of like when you face a fear, I've noticed, for some reason, I have no idea why, I get panic attacks driving on the highway at night. Because I told you, because of that past life thing. But I'm like, okay, I would have thought that knowing why would eliminate it, but it doesn't.
Right, because that's what they say. As soon as you address it, you'd be fine. It. Right.
So that's the only thing, because then I'm like, oh, I didn't die. It's okay. Nothing bad's going to happen. So facing it, kind of like fear will always lie to you. Fear's a liar. It only seeks to multiply itself. So it's going to tell you whatever it has to tell you to get you to agree, click on the agreement thing, and give it your permission. Like, yeah, I agree with you, fear. Yeah, I'm going to die if I do that thing. I'm going to die if I, talk to that person or go do that show or drive on the highway, whatever. Whatever ridiculous thing, because it's always ridiculous.
And fear keeps you in that box, and keeps you from connecting to people and going out and, because I'm actually a pretty quiet guy and reserved, that I don't really go out and physically go look and talk to people, but doing the show now kind of forces me to do this.
Right. It pushes you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. And then I feel like I just grow that much more after it.
Yes, you feel huge. It's kind of like, working out and building that muscle. So then the more spiritual you become, the bigger your energy gets, and it's giant. So then you affect other people. They say that an awake person can wake other people up, and you have like the effect on 100,000 people. But when you're asleep, you only affect like maybe 1 or 2. So when you're awake and you're spreading light, you wake other people up. So imagine how many people you're waking up with your energy on this show. I mean, and when you go to the grocery store, when you go get gas, like things you don't even think about, that, oh, I'm just a dude and I'm just getting gas from my car. I'm not doing anything. Right. No, you're doing a lot, because imagine how giant you are. And then you're passing through everybody's aura and everybody's energy field, and you're touching them, and they're like whoa, they don't know what happened. They just know something happened. And you just sparked an awakening. Or when you trigger people, I'm sure you've had that reaction where you have a simple conversation and they just get pissed off for no reason. And you're like,
absolutely.
okay, I don't know what I did, but okay. Well, you woke them up. You triggered them.
Yeah.
We're activating them.
Yep, and sometimes they can't handle it. You can't handle the truth, like Jack Nicholson says.
Yeah, but you've planted the seed, though. That's the important thing, that you already, it doesn't matter now. Now you can walk away because you did your job. You planted that seed. And so we have to just be very vigilant of our energy. So healing videos right now, a lot of people think, you know, it's not going to do anything. Right now is super potent healing time. If you can get a session, if you can watch a free healing video online, a really cool website I found was quantumk.co.uk, and they offer free energy healing. It's called K1, and you click on it and it's free. And it's just a 24-minute video that you watch, and it's to deprogram yourself. So the Matrix programmed you to think one way, right? The 3D way, to be scared all the time. Well, now we have to unprogram ourselves. So how do you do that? By that website. That's a good way. By listening to like hypnosis, getting a QHHT session, a BQH session, watching positive affirmation videos like Abraham Hicks, Bashar, like stuff like that. Or you telling yourself, you can make one yourself. Just record yourself saying positive things. Instead of saying that you're dumb, tell yourself, I'm smart, I'm powerful, I'm excited to go drive on the highway. I'm excited to go take that plane ride, you know?
And I think one thing that's always helped me is, I do this always in the morning, try to do those positive affirmations, but also give the reason why. Like, thank you for the air that I'm breathing because it gives me life. If you put that thanks behind it, that just gives it that much more energy. Like, thank you for the roof over my head so I can stay out of the elements. It just helps that much more, because now you're given that reason instead of, oh, just thank you for this, thank you for that. And then it's just, you're not feeling it.
Or just asking, give me. You thank, start by thanking. I do the same thing. I say thank you for all the food that I have to eat, the healthy food, because I mean, a lot of people don't get to pick what they eat, and we do. And thank you for giving me all the water that I drink. And it starts to show you are showing yourself, like, look at how much you have, and you're complaining about so-and-so not calling you back, or, you know, whatever ridiculous thing that we're upset about, because we've been trained to be drama queens, and everything is like the end of the world. Everything is, you know, oh, well, he's out to get me and she's out to get me. And no, like, everybody's, the way somebody acts is none of your business. They're in their own universe. They're in their own world. You don't know what they're going through. They're probably waking up and they don't even know that they're waking up, and they're freaking out. Remember where you were when you were waking up. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? You know, nothing makes sense. And I mean, people think that we have it together because we're where we are. We're just like they are. I mean, we're trying to figure it out, because at every rung of the ladder, you're somewhere where you've never been before. So then your duty is to lift up the person behind you. Hey, let me help you up so you can help up the next person. And we have that duty.
Lisa Tully in the chat room says, stay in your heart, keep your loved ones close, fear nothing, mankind is well protected. Good advice, Lisa, thanks.
We are very protected right now. The light is winning, believe it or not. The light is definitely winning, but we have been so programmed. We have PTSD from everything that we've been through. And because we don't see it instant, you know, we're a microwave society. We want it in an instant. You want it in a minute. You want everything right now. And because you physically cannot see it right this second, you think, oh, it's impossible and it's never coming. That's not true. It is. But everything has to line up very synchronistically. So like if you jump out of the plane window and you're skydiving, and you jump when there's a mountain right there, you know, you're going to die. So you have to wait till there's an open field. You know, everything has to line up just so, for your maximum benefit, for your maximum, you know, everything. God wants to give us everything. Your higher self is not stupid. Your higher self knows everything. Your higher self has the rule book, sees the map. Oh, we're going to go this way, and I'm taking Dan over here, and I'm taking Sylvia over there. So like, I think we think that we're walking blind, but look at how far you've come, and you were asleep. Like, look at all the wonderful things you've accomplished, and just looking back at what you've accomplished will give you that oomph to keep going until these planets go direct. So right now we're being forced to wait on purpose so that we can review everything. And like, so you can kind of see, well, maybe I was wrong over here, maybe I could have done that better, and like really come back into your center and realize, you make mistakes too. It's not just blame everybody outside of you. You look at, the part that you've played. You have a responsibility as well. And, they say this is your movie, this is Dan's movie. So Dan's the star. So anybody else can be replaced, but not you. So if you think of it in that way, that you're driving this character, then it's easier to see, oh, I have a lot of power. I can fire you. I can replace you. I can, but it kind of puts it puts it in perspective, because then you see, oh, it's not the end of the world if this person doesn't talk to me anymore. It's not the end of the world,
Yeah, I think another thing too, we're getting a lot of downloads here at night when we sleep, like this last couple weeks too, because I've been waking up, and it maybe just touches upon all the energy coming in, of course, but so freaking tired, and just, I think everything's just got to get, today is actually the first day where I felt more at ease, I guess, and more back to my old self, if you will. But I guess they say that this energy is going to continue to go through from here on out.
It's just getting faster. The ride is picking up speed, and you can feel it. You can feel something's coming, but you just don't know what. And see, it's like if you've ever been sick and you have to get rid of the virus, right? So you're vomiting. Sorry for being gross, but that's kind of the only thing that can really give a metaphor for what we're going through, is like you have to get rid of all that old garbage in order to receive the biggest light, the most light, like the up leveling. You are in the up leveling of your life. So it's like when a woman has a baby, like that kid is coming no matter what. And you're not going to be like, micromanaging the labor process and like all focusing on all the bad. Yeah, you have to go through this uncomfortable period, which is what we're in right now. We're birthing ourselves, right? So you're in the uncomfortable period, but that's going to go by. That'll be done. And then the gift that you get, the baby, the new life that you're birthing, the new you, essentially. And that's what we have to focus on. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep yourself uplifted. Encourage others. Uplift yourself first, then pass it on, because it's like it's contagious. Once you uplift somebody, you're like, woo, you get a rush from it too. And then you just want to keep doing it. If you give somebody a compliment and you see their reaction to it, it makes you want to keep doing it because you feel good. When you do something bad, it shrinks you. But when you do something good, it makes you feel bigger. It grows your energy. It gives you get more potency.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything else you want to touch upon here before we wrap up?
Are we already at the end of the hour? Wow,
we're pushing it out. Well, I guess we got about 10 minutes left if you
want,
but
yeah, I want to tell everybody not to focus on any negativity. We're going through a lot right now. The universe is forcing us to let go of things that don't resonate with us anymore. The best advice I can give is to surrender. Surrender, trust, and allow. Release resistance, because the only thing that causes suffering is hanging on to something that is not meant for you. And you can't receive anything if your fists are closed, because you have that death grip holding on to whatever it is that's trying to leave. It's only leaving because something bigger is coming. So you have to open up your hands to receive. So don't stay in the wallowing of whatever is leaving. We have to look to see, well, what's possible? Is it possible that this could be replaced with something better? Of course it is. always look at the positive. If we live in a dualistic, society, so the bad exists and the good exists. So pick the good, focus on what is possible, that is good, that can happen. So don't stay focused wallowing on the pain, like, oh, we broke up, or I'm not friends with her anymore, whatever. The job, like, look at whatever gift this is giving you now. When I got fired, oh my God, that was a dark time for me, because I thought, I'm gonna die. Well, I'm not dead, and it's been 3 years, so that's not true. So it was the biggest gift, because now I'm out of the matrix. I don't have to be a slave to, I have to go to sleep at a certain time.
Yeah.
I have to wake up at a certain time. And I mean, what a gift. And now I've discovered all these other things, QHHT, BQH, all these new things. And I mean, I don't think that that's the end all be all. I feel like that's a stepping stone to somewhere else. I don't know what yet. And a lot of us don't know right now. Right
And the
now,
one thing to
you're
always
just
think
being
about
asked to go
too,
within.
that each event and past experience you had in your life, whether good or bad, is just building you up for that next level, just to increase, keep going.
Yeah, you're climbing a ladder.
Yeah, just focus on one rung at a time, and then you'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't look down, because that's when you freak out. You're like, oh my God, I'm really high.
Yeah.
It's scary. So right now, don't rush yourself. Don't force anything, nothing. If somebody doesn't want to talk to you, cool, okay, because it's happening for a reason. If something's ending, okay, just accept it. I'm not saying it's easy. I know it's hard. I'm going through it too. Like, I'm in the trenches with everybody else too. But I've noticed, the planet alignments, what's going on, the energy, what I've received in meditation, in my prayers. Like, what has helped me is really, okay, keep your game face on, keep your head in the game, be diligent, focus, be vigilant about your energy, about who you have around you, about what you focus on, because how they say, whatever you focus on grows. And it is so true right now. Right now, you can make something really small, really big. Don't do it. Stay out of that gossiping, the drama, the negativity. Don't give in to fear. Don't agree with fear. And a good way to detach yourself and to cut cords from people is to forgive them. Forgive them, and that takes all their power away. And it's not for them, it's for you. Because then you're like, nope, I'm unhooking you from me, and now you don't have any power over me. So now that I've forgiven you, I don't care what you do. Like, cool, go live your life. I'm gonna live my life. I'm tearing up the contract, whatever. And I mean, you can do rituals right now. It's a very potent energy to do rituals. And rituals is just a habit with intention. That's all it is. You can light a little candle, you can light a big candle, you can just say something. You don't have to light a candle if you don't want to. You can write out affirmations, what you will no longer be, what you're releasing. You can set fire to it, and then you can replace it with what you want to bring in. So the new you, your new affirmations, your new intentions, what you want to create for this next new life that the universe is gifting you with. Because we're entering a space and time that we've never been before. So use the energy to your advantage. The dark is using it for their advantage. They're doing their rituals. So you do your rituals, and you do your protection, your shielding, your salt baths, your affirmations, your deprogramming. You deprogramming yourself by whatever record is playing in your head that's negative. No, replace it with 3 positive things. Whatever negative thing pops into your head, no, that's not true. I'm not dumb. I'm powerful. I'm smart. And then look for evidence of that. Well, if I was dumb, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. And look at your accomplishments. Review what you've done, and it's incredible. I guarantee you, because there's no other you. You're the only you. And you matter. Your energy matters. What you have to say matters. So make it something positive and uplifting.
Make it count.
Make it count. Like don't comment something crappy in a video. Don't thumb something down. Like, if you don't like it, just don't watch it again. That's all. whatever your energy, your focus, your attention is like money. Whatever you're paying your energy with, that's what you're growing. So why would you waste your time paying for something that you don't like? So don't, spend time doing things that you're not gonna like. They know. No, I'm taking my power back.
Yep. That sounds like a good place to close out. Sylvia, I want to give a shout out to the chat room here. Thank you guys for joining me. We're about 70-ish strong. It's always good to have a live show here and interact with you guys. So thanks, Sylvia, for joining me. And we'll have to bring you on again and talk again later.
Yeah, bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dan Hohlfeld on Talk is Cheap. Remember, Saturday, the 18th here coming up, I got a special 100th episode for Talk is Cheap. It's very interesting. We went out on a little exhibition. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to keep you on the edge of your seat, but it was an experience. So with that being said, Dan Hohlfeld signing out. Talk is Cheap. Bye-bye.